place where the magic happens. Conversations flow and the laughter snapping. Here at Netter's Network, where the stories come alive. Every episode's a journey, every guest a drive. Netter's Network, tune in for the show, where the headlines meet the heart, and we all get to know. From the highs to the lows, we've got it all in tow. Netter's Network, where the world's on the go.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Netter's Network Thursday Things. We have a special guest waiting for us in the green room. But before I bring him in, let me introduce to you the love of my life, my co-host, that guy at the end of the bar, Telly. How you doing tonight, sweetie? And what are you sipping on?
I am doing very, very well. Thank you for asking. I am sipping on a Squirt Zero Sugar Grapefruit Soda.
Oh, let's see, what do I got? I'm still working through my Signature Select, which is the Jewel food store. If you've got any Jewel food stores by you, I don't know if that's regional or not. Seltzer water cherry flavor. Then after this, it'll be raspberry.
There you go. There you go. And I said I was sipping on it, but really I tend to kind of chug these.
You do. It's like, what was it? Yesterday, I handed him one.
This is a good one.
And it's like, because he's like, can I get a drink? So I hand him a can. And it's like not even a minute later, he goes, can I have something to drink? I'm like, I just gave you one. He goes, well, it's gone. It's like, what the heck?
In my defense, I was eating popcorn at the time. It was a bit salty, so,
Oh, you're a bit salty.
Well, yeah, that's true too, yes.
Well, let me bring in our guest, and then after I bring in our guest, we will say hello to the chat. So, waiting backstage in the green room, you know him, Curtis Selby. How you doing, sweetie? And what are you sipping on?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Musk. I have to go. There's somebody really important here, and I'll get back with you on Signal later. Hi,
Exactly.
Oh, God, I love you guys. I'm sipping on water is what I'm doing.
Okay.
I hate to admit it. I'm really tempted to dig out the whiskey, but I'm going to wait till after the show. So.
Or you could do what Troy does. He's only allowed to drink on Fridays. Because
that is wise.
Yeah, it's like it's the end of the week. Neither of us work on the weekend, so yeah.
Works for me.
Okay.
Although I may have to go out to Benny's tomorrow. I'm out of Kraken, and that's kind of what I'm having.
And we just went to Benny's on Saturday.
I know, I forgot it. I didn't have it on the list because I'm a dunderhead.
Well, did you put it on her list?
Alexa, add Kraken to the shopping list.
See?
Kraken added.
I know what's on the shopping list because I go by what she's got.
I should have put it on the Benny's list.
Well,
Alexa, add Kraken to the Benny's list.
I don't look at the Benny's list.
Kraken added to Benny's.
Well,
I take everything off of her list.
It's there too.
Yeah, we're an old married couple. We bicker about weird things.
Yes, we do.
Well, but don't say anything about bickering because YouTube might scan you for that and think you're threatening each other.
Well, there's that too.
I'm being overly sensitive.
At the end of the show when he tells me, hey, you want to take us out? And it's like, well, let me get my gun.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. The picture is tiny, so I'm trying to see, is that a Doge or a furball kitty?
That's my furball. That is Cassie. And I can't explain this. I have about probably literally 200 photos over on my phone, but somehow only this photo's made it over to the computer.
Oh, weird.
My priorities are just odd, but
the way they're laying, I couldn't tell if it was a dog just kind of relaxing or it was a cat because it's a smaller picture.
Yeah, it is. She was, I think one day she was just lying like next to my chair. on right before I was streaming, and I just somehow I got her picture on there. It's been so long ago. I need to get more of her stuff on here because if I was really smart, I would stop doing anything except making videos of Cassie, and I'd live happily ever after. So, and Cassie is very well, Connie Cleary. She's very well.
Well, we used to have our for my company the teams. What do you call it? Our weekly team meeting. And one of the fellows that was in our group, he had since been moved under somebody else because he did some reorg thing. It never failed. We're in the middle of the meeting. His cat would jump up on the desk, walk past his monitor a couple times, turn around, moon us, and then rub their face against the monitor. It's like, and we'd all just stop and go, kitty, because kitties.
Exactly.
Cool kitties. That's why I like watching Maria with T and Telly, because her kitties are usually running around while she's streaming.
T and Telly is so wonderful.
Right.
Oh, she is. She is my sister from another mother.
That's so cool.
And Troy's like, well, that doesn't rhyme.
Yeah, it's sister from another mister.
Not all poetry has to rhyme,
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Having said that, one of my favorites is Candy is Dandy, but Liquor is Quicker.
Liquor is quicker. That is the name of the poem is On Breaking the Ice. I can't remember who wrote it.
Was it E. Cummings?
Might have been. Yes, might have been.
I studied this stuff, but I've also forgotten a lot of it, so I could be mistaken there.
No, I know what that's like. Well, before we get into tonight's topic, let me say hello to the chat.
Hello to the chat.
This guy owes me money.
We gotta keep an eye on this one. So Curtis Selby, who is also our guest, is saying hello and well met. Big Al presents saying hello, my friends. Have a great stream and enjoy that gentle flow of the stream. Connie Cleary saying hello to the chat. JPRPH1 using his Netters Network emojis of the smolder, smile, the Netters Network, and the retro cinema. Let's see. Mark Melnikoff. Gapla. This is YouTube, and today is Thursday, and it's Netters Thursday Things. Watch fully and learn. Gapla. And learn and release the Netterbots. And Troy was right again. Bigly.
Yes, he could mean any number of things, but I've just come to realize I just nod and say, "Yep, yes, I was. I'm sure I was."
There's that Netters girl going, and crushing on that Troy guy, and there's that Troy guy crushing back on that Netters girl. Let's see. Deleted Scenes is here with his salute. Did I say Connie? If I don't want to miss anybody, so there we go. Yeah, Connie saying hello. Lester San Jose, the Skeptic Tank. YouTube notification. YouTube is inconsistent with notifications.
Yeah, it is.
And you became a new member. Thank you so much, Lester. I appreciate that. Timey Wimey Limey. How you doing, sweetie? I just like saying the name. Timey Wimey Limey.
I agree. I don't remember if I said hello, JPRPH1. So I wanted to say hello. And scrolling. And Big Al came back and said, and she added to his list. Yeah.
So now he's got alcohol on his list.
Good.
Sometimes you need just a little bit of a nip, a wee nip. And Charlotte Nightstar, the werewolf, how you doing, sweetie? I still need to pre-record a show with you so that I can get that onto my Thursday things.
So you guys are aware that this is a go with the flow stream, even though we have a basic topic in mind. We could talk about anything at any time, right?
Yeah.
Groovy. You're not done saying hi to everybody.
No, I'm not. That's why I'm like, why are you interrupting me? Evelyn Hampton saying good evening to everyone. Geek Flag with Nate. Bonjour, Netter and Troy and Netter's Troy and oh shucks. A $2 super chat. Thank you, sweetie.
It's just that, like some other YouTubers, she has this tendency to have long pauses, and it's like, okay, I think that means she's done and she's going on to something else.
Okay, now I'm at the bottom and done.
Okay, so one of the many projects that I have going on is, I think I talked about it many months ago. We had a plumbing problem, which forced me to have to try to rescue my well, just about all of my collectibles, but specifically comic books and the Star Trek customizable card game. I've gone through most of my comics, which can be very expensive because it means, as I catalog, it means I got to start my list of, okay, back issues I have to get. Well, same thing with the collector's cards. I'm going through my old Star Trek customizable card game. And these, you guys know how these customizable card games go. They have, every background character has a card and a lore stats and so forth. So, for example, Dwayne Johnson did a guest appearance on Voyager once as an alien, an alien wrestler, right? And if you read his lore on the card, it describes him and his background as a character. In his stats, keen sense of smell. Can you smell what the rock is cooking, right?
Oh, right. Okay.
So there's a card here. B.G. Robinson. She was transport operator on the Enterprise, the original series, played by oh God, what was her name? She played opposite Dean Cain in New Adventures of Superman.
Terry Hatcher?
Terry Hatcher, right. So Terry Hatcher, right? So I'm reading the lore here on it. It says she was responsible for reporting the daily planet-to-ship transport logs. Daily planet-to-ship transport logs. Get it?
Yes.
I thought that was funny.
It was rather humorous.
Anyway.
So we decided that tonight we're going to be talking about monetization and how to get there. And Curtis is in the process of getting or trying to get monetized right now. And I know it's a trial.
Yeah, I guess so.
Most of the cards were saved, Jesse.
Yeah.
There were some that, because they were stuck together.
Unfortunately, as I'm getting into them, some of the ship cards, I'm finding the lower right corner is curled, so they're going to need to be replaced.
Okay. Mark says, I'm responsible for the captain's logs.
That means he's on cleaning the head. That's what his duties are.
Yes.
Take a plunger with you. Anyway.
For instance, when I was going through trying to get monetized, apparently at some point I had already set up Google AdSense for trying to get more views. Like you do the get AdSense, and then it kind of makes it like a sort of a commercial. Puts you somewhere where people see your stream more, so it should draw more
in theory,
more people to your channel to view it, and hopefully help you out. Well, when I tried to get monetized, it's like you already have an AdSense account. You can't have two. You need to delete the original one. I don't know why it just wouldn't let me use that one. It kept insisting on creating two or a second one. So I had to go through so many hoops to try and get the original one deleted or deactivated so I could set up a second AdSense account. Let me tell you, it was a pain in the derriere. So if any of you are trying to get monetized and you already have a Google AdSense account, get rid of it, because otherwise it will be such a hindrance to you becoming monetized.
Yeah.
They strung me along for, I want to say, a good 3 months
You
before
had
they.
to physically call somebody, right? Speak to them directly.
I think I was in a chat with them.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's like it took 3 months for them to finally go, okay, we're past this point now. Yes, you are now set up with Google AdSense with us. But then my logins weren't working properly, and it was another hoop to jump through trying to get the right logins
right.
so that I can check my AdSense and all that. It was a real nightmare. So if you are trying to become monetized, make sure you don't already have Google AdSense set up, and if you do, delete your account.
Gotcha.
You'll thank me later.
Yeah.
In fact, I should have done this before the stream. Let me go get something to write all this down on. I know I'm
Sure.
weird.
Not a bad idea. You might want to take notes. Although the stream will still be up later. You
That's
can
true.
always
That's
listen to it again.
That's true too. Okay, I won't interrupt the flow then.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Go get something.
Go with the flow.
To write.
Just go with the flow.
Go get something to write on, because we might say something. You're like, oh, I want to write that down now before I forget about it, because I don't know where in the stream we talked about it.
I will just write it on this thing right here.
It's like, go get a pad, pencil, paper, lipstick, crayon.
I got it.
It's fine.
The joke I was about to give would probably get this stream demonetized, so I'll just keep to myself. All right.
Well, apparently, as long as you don't talk about the coof, and what's the newest one?
Oh, you can't talk about the big T little Elsla. That'll get you.
You can't?
No, apparently not.
That's the new one now.
Wow.
You can't talk about how a certain electric car that everyone got because they were being environmentally friendly to save the planet because, good left-wing politics is now somehow suddenly a bad thing because,
Yeah, you also can't talk about people who don't know what gender they are, because that will get flagged.
I've actually started to just refer to it as body dysmorphia.
So
because that actually applies to people with eating disorders, with all kinds of things.
Gender confusion.
So, and I don't mean to be like argumentative, because I know you guys got it done, so you guys know what you're doing. But well, you know what I mean. I hope.
I do, but the reason that's humorous is because even when you know what you're doing, there's a great deal of just luck and prayer that goes into it.
And a lot of hoop jumping.
We'll talk about that tonight, but yeah.
So when Reality Based got monetized, and God bless him, I'm glad that he did. So don't take it that way. But
yeah.
I really thought when he got demonetized, because I've worried about it since day one, although you wouldn't think so, since I've just blandly gone in and Orange Man is good, and that's not good for as far as YouTube's concerned. But the stuff that guy says, I was like, if he can get monetized,
yes,
surely I'll be okay. And nope.
Well, I think you will be, and don't call me Shirley. But that does lead me to a question, and again, I had asked you, in the green room,
yes,
if you felt comfortable talking about things,
absolutely.
And if there's anything you don't want to talk about, by all means, do not do so.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
But has YouTube specifically given you a reason for not?
So do you mind if I share the screen?
Sure.
To show you what I have.
Make sure you're not sharing any like PII or anything.
That stands for personal identifiable information.
Yeah.
Well,
like your bank account or because
yeah.
honestly, when you're sharing this YouTube stuff, that is not beyond the realm of possibility.
Right. Well, this is what I got.
Okay, never saw that before.
Your channel wasn't accepted.
Okay, harmful content. What kind of harmful
Yes.
content?
Well, I looked that up,
Uh-huh.
and hold on, I have that ready to share. I almost know what I'm doing anymore. Not
Yeah.
really, not really, but so this is what their link went to.
Okay.
It's all this stuff, and again, I don't want to be argumentative with you guys, but
No, yeah, I agree.
this is so broad. I know it probably doesn't
Yeah.
seem like it, but inappropriate language. Well, are we just talking f
I don't know
bombs?
because like every channel I watch uses what could be
I
construed
know.
as inappropriate
Yeah, I
language.
don't think I've ever watched a channel. I mean, there's very, very few where they're not dropping the F bomb or something. I mean, especially in
Yes.
a church channel. Um,
Yes.
but
And
it
I
could be
have no problem with
something.
that, but
Yeah, it could be something where it's being derogatory against a uh, particular group of people, slurs,
So here's another
that sort
one.
of thing. I mean, I'm sure you don't have anything like that on there, but I'm just saying
This
what
is
yeah.
this
inappropriate
is
might be.
probably the biggest problem I see with YouTube because, for example, top of the column on the right, firearms related content. There are whole channels dedicated to
Yeah, Brandon
firearms.
Herrera.
Brandon
Mm-hmm.
Herrera, right, and the various ranches. But you know, so I really don't, and I get that they're constantly being harassed. They're constantly getting individual videos demonetized, which is why most of them have premium content on other channels like
Mm-hmm.
Pepperbox and so forth. But YouTube is notoriously inconsistent. I would say unfairly inconsistent in their applications of this. Controversial issues. That's probably the biggest one that many of our channels talk
Mm-hmm.
about when we say you can't talk about the environmentally friendly cars that are
Yeah,
on the outs with the left right now being targeted for mostly peaceful
the
protests.
Muskmobile.
Mm-hmm.
See, well, I would almost be careful saying that word too. Um, see, you see what I'm saying? It is absolutely ridiculous. But probably the worst part about it is they won't tell you
Nope.
specifically what it is, what videos, any of that.
Yeah,
Well,
I
you know,
have no
one
idea.
of the things that I made sure is that every single video I put up, even though I don't have swearing on any of my vids or whatever, they are all marked not for kids.
Yes.
Sometimes
Yes.
just having one marked for, that it's kid friendly, whatever, even that will knock you out.
Well,
So
here's
all mine just say not for kids.
ever since that whole thing came out about Netflix, let me speak to that in general for everybody because I think there was a lot of misunderstanding about what this was all about. If you go to a channel that specifically has stuff that is made for kids, you will find that you cannot comment those videos. You cannot save the video for later. Like, for example, if I'm on a stream and I see Tired Midnight Blogger just went live or he just dropped a video, I'll go and I will go to the video, hit watch later, so that after my stream is done, I could then go to my watch later and just watch all the videos I haven't had a chance to catch up on. You cannot do that with children's content for some reason. I have no idea why.
Okay. I
Uh,
do. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I wanted to comment. I wanted to respond to Jesse Guajardo's comment. What if it's a comic or animated series with firearms? I, I've put up an unfortunate number of pro Orange Man videos, and one of them I had an AI generate a picture of him with a blaster rifle fighting X-Men style villains.
Uh-huh.
I thought it was amazing and cool. I thought it would be eye catching. YouTube would not let me post it. So I had to get rid of that and put on a different the one. So I want to say it was the one where Orange Man. I had a video which I have since moved to Rumble about Orange Man being spiffy and he knows it, which upset the heck out of my liberal friends. They were so upset about that. And one of them called me a panderer, and I haven't gotten over that yet. But anyway.
See, what gets me, I think, the most about people saying stuff like that is I have no idea what it is they think they mean. You know, it's like, really?
I don't think that word means what you think
it doesn't
means.
mean what you think it means. Yeah, it's like,
well,
pandering is something you do when you are untrue to your beliefs and opinions because you're being paid to do so. So if you are part of the shill media and Disney pays you, you know, in cupcakes probably, you will go and say that Rachel Zegler is the greatest thing ever. You know, she's got the
weird.
Yeah,
weird,
exactly.
weird.
That's pandering. If I'm not getting anything in return, there is no pandering happening.
Well, first off, I want to point out that I responded to him. I can't remember the whole thing, and it's not worth looking up. But part of my response was, "What the heck do you think Colbert does?"
Yeah,
and he didn't respond to that.
Exactly.
The second thing I wanted to say is, until recently, I had not made a dime on anything I've ever done on the internet. Rumble, I've actually made over $10.
There you go. Yeah.
And that was largely thanks to John Ponterero and Connie Cleary, who super chatted me. You can super chat right off the bat. Whereas with YouTube, you have to jump through all these hoops.
Yeah.
And
keep in mind too that all that time they're still making money off of your content.
Well,
they are there is still ads being run on your videos, even if they don't consider them ad friendly, and even if you aren't monetized.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the, like Russell Brand. I've decided I'm going to borrow from his formula because they demonetized him because of the allegations about misconduct from years ago, which have yet to be substantiated, but we don't care. We're still going to punish you.
Right.
So what he does is he dual streams everything, but the things that are safe to say on YouTube, he says on both channels. And then the controversial stuff he talks about on Rumble. So I've been experimenting with Rumble. I'm still quite clumsy with it. But
I was just saying on my most recent stream, I need to, especially after what happened to Disney Sheepherder, he basically said, he's over on Rumble. So guys, look up Disney Sheepherder over on Rumble. Make sure you give him a follow. He said he'll continue to support, but obviously he'll have to do it on Rumble. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of a kick in the tail. I got to get back to backing up videos and stuff to Rumble.
And I have to start getting some videos over there. It's like at one point I was able to have my YouTube videos just automatically go there.
Yeah, but Google pulled some shenanigans and it won't do that anymore. Which is part of a lawsuit that is currently happening between Rumble and Google. Just letting you guys know about that too. I follow all of that stuff. But anyway.
I just gave Disney Sheepherder a follow on Rumble.
There you go. There you go.
In fact, I'm going to drop the Rumble for Disney Sheepherder in the chat, and I'm going to pin it to the top. So let's help out a fellow community member. It doesn't cost you anything. It's it's a like. It's a, like, or it's a follow. They call it on Rumble.
Exactly.
So
right.
go give him a follow. Let's boost him up. He's only got, let's see, wait, I just signed up, or I just followed him. Refresh the screen. Come on, refresh. Why are you not refreshing? I hate when it doesn't refresh.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at what Sashi said. I, um, Curtis Selby not pandering. He is Russian asset.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, looks like Disney Sheepherd has 11 followers. So,
Yeah,
show him some love.
Let's at least get everybody in here to give him a follow on the Green Machine. That's the other thing. I asked Culture Casino why he calls it the Green Machine. He's like, yeah, because the YouTubes don't like the grumble that starts with an R. So if you do have a Rumble channel, maybe don't put it in the description of your videos and in the description of your channel. It's okay to put Twitter. It's okay to put Twitch. It's not okay to put the Green Machine, apparently. See, these are the minefields you got to jump through on YouTube. So,
and if you are so inclined, I am dropping my Rumble. Okay, you can only pin one thing at a time, so I'm going to leave up Disney's, but I just dropped mine too. I also have 11 followers, so I'd love to have more followers on Rumble so I can start growing that one. Because eventually, I'm moving off of YouTube because it's the baloney.
Eventually. But for now, this is another thing that I would recommend to everyone. Wherever possible, make sure that you diversify.
Yeah.
If you have other places, like I'm regularly streaming on X at the same time that I'm streaming on YouTube, and as soon as I figure out how to connect my Rumble to EV Mux, I'll be doing it there too.
Yeah, absolutely. Clue says, me too, Netter. I think I'm shadow banned. Yeah, it's like that stuff makes me crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they always denied that it happened, and then the Taibbi files came out, and then Zuckerberg came out and was like, we were pressured into doing all this stuff and it wasn't right and blah, 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 which is, I give him credit for admitting it now, but I don't give him a lot of credit because to me, the only person who even came close to doing it right was Elon Musk. He took flack for at least, I know people like LDG say that he's not really into free speech, but he's as close as it gets at this time, with the possible exception of the Green Machine.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and probably the standout is the changes that have been made to their community notes. I, for one, am someone who is able to go in and make community notes and contribute to whether or not a note is needed. And I'm telling you, man, it's a good thing that he's opened that up as much as he has, because there are people on there that literally are using or trying to use the community notes to shut down commentary they don't like. Yes. And of course, people come in and you can say, they're not, you basically vote and say, this is a no note needed on this. This is somebody's opinion. If you are abusing the community notes system, if you disagree, feel free to mention it in the comments.
Yep.
Did
you see the CNN? There's a guy, they have a pollster guy on there who's I'm actually liking, which is odd. I thought I would never again say there's something on CNN that I'm liking, but he will, like, he's the one that revealed that Orange Man had a ginormous.
Hey, we don't talk about those things on the
I was just thinking that too. I'm like, don't get us demonetized.
Oh Lord, he has.
Where
a
are we going with this?
No, approval.
Ego? Yes, he
Approval
does have an
rating.
enormous ego. I will say that.
He has an enormous ego. I won't deny that, but he has a considering everything, he's got a really high approval rating.
Yes. And here's the other thing. Okay, so I know exactly what you're talking about because I saw that clip. And I don't remember what stat he noted, but I did a little research into the statistical outlets that I have found to be more reliable. For example, Rasmussen's still pretty good, and what is the People's Pundit is another one,
Okay.
and they constantly point out that the mainstream media still, even when they're being positive about Orange Man, they tend to give him at least 10 points down. So whatever statistics CNN says, it's probably 10 points higher than that.
Yeah.
And no, John Potterero, it's not an Arnold Palmer reference.
Arnold Palmer, the golfer?
Oh, you may not have heard. Do you remember the speech that Orange Man gave right before the election?
Which
or
one?
Maybe it was right after. He was talking about Arnold Palmer having a large golf club.
Oh, I did not know about this, but okay, doesn't surprise me.
Yep. Yeah, the left was quite upset with that. Gutfield just made fun of it. And
why? Why does anyone care?
Why does anyone care? Now Gutfield, he's in the business of making fun of, mainly left wingers, but
right.
He's become my guilty pleasure, and it may mean that I'm a bad person, but there it is. And hail to thee, aged boomer.
There you go. Welcome. And there was, like long time ago, there was a comment that I wanted to mention. It's a little off topic, but timey-wimey-limey, stick with me. Tomorrow, Doctor Who, we will be talking time travel. So all that timey-wimey stuff you were talking about in the chat, we'll talk more about it tomorrow night.
Doctor Who.
Ooh. Yeah, exactly. But what were we saying? Anyway, yeah, so I didn't realize that this was the problem that you were having, and that really sucks because there's really not much we can do about it.
I understand that.
That is not something that, like I said, I didn't go through. And the rational, logical part of me says, well, if I was able, okay, and you did the same thing with Ryan Roger Athe. If he was able to get monetized, why can't? What are they seeing in me that's different from his channel? When it comes to language, my language, I'm sure, is way worse than yours on your channel. How could I get monetized and they didn't? And you have to almost throw all that reasonable logic out the window because I don't believe that YouTube is being honest and fair in their assessment. Like with mine, okay, so Netter, is probably going to talk more about the difficulty she went through. She already mentioned how she had all this problem with AdSense and all this kind of stuff. And just, behind the scenes technical, glitches that she had to work through with them. But she took a lot longer than I did. Mine was relatively straightforward. I mean, it was, and honestly, my review period was almost non-existent. So I'm like, did they even bother to check? I'm not by any means going to question it. I don't want them to look too closely.
Yeah,
but
same here.
But that's the thing. Why would they? be all over one person and not everyone's. And is there some sort of an appeal process?
Well, there sort of is, but before I get into it, hello, Maria with T and Telly. You're
Hey,
very
Maria.
welcome here. Sorry, I had to do that.
Also, welcome,
I-
Real Wade Nation Gaming Clips.
Oh, hey, Railway Nation. Howdy, howdy. Helen, well met. He is doing an 8-hour watch along of the Tobey Spider-Man trilogy. Holy cow.
Wow. Wow.
That's a lot.
That's intense. Yeah.
So, what I can do, let me get back here. I was so prepared and now I'm not. YouTube and earn. Ba-ba-da-bum. Okay, so I will share that. And they're like, I'm so glad we had him as a guest, fumbling around to share things. Thank you.
No worse than any of us.
You're very kind.
Jessica Harder said, Troy, to answer.
Oh, go for it.
Okay.
To answer
your YouTube bots are cyber jerks.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
So, according to this cryptic thing that they sent me, which I love that they made it nice and fun. You've given a year of your life to a dream, so we're going to put a roadblock in your way.
Exactly.
So the review found that it contained harmful content. I clicked on the thing. I shared what that was.
Yeah.
Edit your channel and reapply for monetization. Make changes to your channel based on our feedback. Changes can include editing or deleting videos, updating video details. You can reapply starting April 10, as long as your channel meets the following requirements, which I meet these, and it does look like I'm slipping a little bit on the watch hours, but it's only a few, so I can make those up. But I mean, if I just wish I could go somewhere and say, hey, it's specifically what videos. I'll edit them. I'll do what I need to do, but you send me this great big long list, and like, to be frank, what unless you guys do or somebody does know someone I can personally go to chat or call or something. Yeah. My plan is to edit as best as I can until April 10 and reapply. And if they don't accept me on April 10, I'm just going to start a whole new channel. And this one is just what I'll use when I'm a guest on somebody's show or something. Yeah. And the other one will be a completely new thing where I just play by the rules and play nice and don't talk about the topics except on Rumble. So
yeah.
Frankly, I think that YouTube is just a bunch of little snowflakes. And it's like, you said something that we think hurt our feelings, so we don't want to monetize you.
And actually, now that I think about it, that's totally doable. I mean, you are your channel. I mean, and yes, you can change your channel name and branding and whatnot. That's I've done that myself. But going from Curtis Selby to a channel called Tired Midnight Blogger might be the way to go. You know.
Yeah, the only thing is he would lose all those subscribers that he had gotten, so he's got to get all those back. I mean, everybody here will sub to you, but that's not 700 people.
Yeah, but I mean, they don't really leave me any choice, So
let's see. Jesse said, you should have seen what happened to the YouTube channel. Totally not Mark, where almost 80% of his content was copyright claim and hit with the 3 strikes part 2.
That means he's typing a second part.
I guess we'll
Part
have
of
to
the
wait for that tomorrow.
monetization to get you YouTube to
Police your
police your.
Okay. See, now when
Yes, I agree with you on that, Clue. And that makes perfect sense, except that they don't tell you what the problem is.
yeah, see, like when I had the AdSense
Wait a
problem.
minute. Think about it this way. If you get arrested, they have to tell you exactly what you're being charged with. That's habeas corpus. There is no such obligation for YouTube. We're going to not approve you for monetization, or we're going to strike your monetization, and you've got to guess what's wrong.
Yeah. See, now I had the AdSense problem. I actually contacted somebody with Google, and I had a lovely chat with them, and they're like, okay, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. And I was able to finally become monetized with the AdSense portion, because there's the YouTube portion, and then you also have to sign up for Google AdSense so you can get paid.
Mm-hmm.
And that was part of my problem, where, like I said, it took them a good 3 months before I finally, after many attempts, finally got my AdSense portion approved. But I was able to actually chat with someone. YouTube, they don't flipping care.
No, they don't.
If you ask them, or if you don't even have a place to ask them, hey, what is the thing that you are being offended by, so that I can change it, because I really want to be, a YouTube, creator on here, and have people come, and you're actually going to earn money from me because people will super chat and member and all this stuff. But if you don't tell me, I can't fix it, and therefore you're not getting any money off of me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But they don't.
And another great analogy, you get pulled over by the police. What do they always say? Do you know why I pulled you over? It's a trap. At the risk of quoting Admiral Akbar, you should never say, because I was speeding, because you've immediately admitted it.
Yep.
You say, no, officer, why did you pull me over? Now they have to tell you. It falls under habeas corpus. They have to tell you why they pulled you over, because if they don't have a good reason for pulling you over, you could say, well, then if I'm not being detained, I'm going to leave your
Officer.
officer. Yeah.
And people will try to become monetized differently. So, like, Troy waited till he had 1,000 subscribers. I waited till I had 1,000 subscribers. You also have to upload, I think, 3 videos, which we definitely had.
Yeah.
And I think I had to have the whatever the first tier of the watch hours was. I think it was 1,000 watch hours. So I'd gotten that. And then I applied for monetization. I said my issue was, or the biggest hurdle I had, was trying to get the AdSense set up. So that's where I ran into a lot of problems. The stuff before that, the stuff after that, didn't really have any issues. It was just trying to do the AdSense part. But I would do what they said to do, come back, like a day later, refresh my screen, and I was like, okay, that should have gone through, just from the say, nope, try again. It's like, are you kidding me? But there are definitely hoops for you to go through. So it's not just, okay, I've met the criteria, I want to be monetized. Here's a form that I'm filling out, monetize me. It's, okay, I'm filling out this form. Okay, I have to do steps A, B, and C. Okay, A is basically saying, this is who I am, here's my name, my address, stuff like that. Step B is set up the AdSense account so you can get paid. And then C, I forget what C was. It wasn't anything like really horrible. I went through it really fast, but it was something else about like verifying your bank accounts or something like that. Or maybe that was part of AdSense, but it was verifying some other information. And it said, for me, the hiccup was in the center. For other people, it might be the hiccup is in the beginning. Maybe they're not accepting your PII, or personal identifiable information. It's like, this isn't, matching what we might have on file for you somewhere, or some, or some baloney like that. Or it might be the third portion where they're asking for information and you, for whatever reason, can't supply it or something,
So, refresh on what Jesse was saying, Troy. You should have seen what happened with the YouTube channel Totally Not Mark, where almost 80% of his content was copyright claimed, and he was hit with with the 3 strikes. In the time that his channel made physically impossible for any one person to see all that content, plus to get an appeal for all his videos, I'm guessing would take years, but thankfully everyone got involved to fix it. So yeah, just to sum that up, I don't know the channel, but I understand the concept behind what you just said. If you get mass hit with copyright strikes, they nuke your channel. And if that happens, you have no ability to even say nuh-uh, which is a huge gap in their rules system. You have literally no chance to come back and say, I have been targeted by somebody who doesn't own a copyright to anything I had in my videos. It actually happened to Retro Blasting too.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
Maria Chi and Telly says, Classic Glue. I actually don't, but now I want to check that out.
Yeah.
He created everything by hand. His own art,
Video
videos,
system.
etc. They wouldn't monetize him. He even showed them how he made it. He couldn't get it. They said he was copying someone. He appealed 5 times.
And actually so that thing that happened to Tom Conkle. He literally was sharing his own work, and they were saying, this is copywritten, you can't. And he's like, it's my material. How do I clear it? Yeah. I want to what's it? I want to appeal it. Go through the appeal process. Send me, my own appeal so I can approve it. And release the copyright.
Well, it's like Troy will use AI music on some of his vids, and they're like, oh, no, this is copyright. And he'll go, no, it's AI generated.
Yeah.
And even some other stuff that's not AI generated, it's like, it is public music. He bought the rights to be able to use it. Here's my proof that I'm able to use it.
There was a big problem that has now been corrected, because I ran into it too. Well, I didn't realize they'd fixed it when I ran into it. I had licensed a piece of music, literally paid for the license, used the piece of music, got hit with a copyright claim.
Wow.
And so I immediately went to the license holder, and I'm like, what do I do? And they said, they had some technical stuff on their end that I guess is pretty standard. You fill out this and you do this and you get a number generated and you send this to YouTube and they'll clear it up. I said, okay, thanks. They weren't, because these copyright claims generally are not literally the copyright holder, saying that's my music, you can't use it. It's some automatic system on YouTube's side, and they go, oh, no, we'll get that cleared up. My thought was, great, I'm a live streamer, so all the revenue that I would have gotten, I don't get. And YouTube said, no, that's not the case. They didn't say any more, but it used to be the case. Any monies, they've actually put it into the notification when they let you know that there's a copyright claim, that any monies for this video are going into an escrow until either you clear this up or not. After a certain period of time, then the money goes to the copyright holder. So I ended up then, in other words, getting the back AdSense for that video. For them, $1.25, right, or whatever it was. No, it's probably about what it was if you want to be technical about it. But it's more the principle of the thing than the dollar value, in my opinion. But anyway, yeah, just that was my story.
And like you had said, your being monetized was really easy to go through it. Now, I know that they had changed it. It used to be you had to get 1,000 subscribers and blah, 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 blah. And then they changed it so you could do it at 500. So some people were doing that, but I was stubborn and wanted to wait till I had 1,000. But you can do it at 500 subs. You just got to also have the rest of the criteria. So it's 1,000 watch hours, a minimum of 500 subs. And then you have to make sure that your videos are not controversial, I guess, in a YouTube sense. So like all of my vids, I automatically have them set up. They are not for children. I could be talking about Dora the Explorer and Sesame Street, and I would still mark them not for children.
Right.
Because I don't want to get some strife because
it's not about the topic. It's about the audience and how they deal with. So if you do a channel specifically for children, right? An educational channel, entertainment channel or whatever, it's got to follow very strict guidelines. And like I said, it can't be shared, can't be saved to what do they call it? A list. It can't be put on watch later. Can't be commented. I don't think you could even do live streams on a channel that's meant to be a kid's channel or whatever. So yeah, it's all very, very strange. And I remember at the time they were talking about this whole made for kids, not made for kids thing. And people were getting real concerned, especially in the toy community, because they're like, well, it's all perfectly child friendly. We don't use strong language or anything like that. We're talking about toys, but our primary audience is adult collectors. And it became very clear that then you don't market for children. Your audience is adults. That doesn't mean it's, adult content, which also would not be allowed on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's your primary audiences. And basically what you just want to get across is, this isn't made for kids. That's why I have my openings. Yeah, there may be occasional strong language and topics that some people might find,
Inebriation is advised.
Inebriation is advised, though not mandatory. Yes, exactly. This is why content creators are using AI to make music for their videos. All these stupid record labels had to do was cut a deal and charge a price. Yes, exactly. There are a lot of channels. I don't know how good they are from the point of view of the creators. But like I said, when I license this music for a video, and actually it's a yearly thing. So a couple of my videos, I've taken music from this site. It was actually recommended to me by Maria Telly, by the way. Yearly subscription. And oftentimes what I'm doing is I'm going there and I'm looking for a piece of music, and I will describe the style that I'm looking for. And I'm looking for something similar to, looking for something similar to the theme from Star Wars, something similar to the Star Trek, something similar to this, something similar to that, to give you the feel for what I'm doing without using the copywritten stuff. It's pretty good. It's very inexpensive license for the music, and you can use it, forever basically, as long as you give the attribution. And it makes me wonder if there's these people that are composing this music are doing it specifically like, okay, well, there's a theme to a movie. I'll make a piece of music that sounds very similar to that, and then license it, for people to, use when they make YouTube. And I don't know what kind of money they make from that. I mean, is it a pittance? Is it a decent amount? Does it depend on how many people download the song? I don't know.
I want to say hello to Eldridge Lord Hester. Welcome.
Oh, I haven't seen you in a long time. Good to see you, Lord Hester.
Greetings, Lord Hester the Eldritch. Yep.
I don't recall you being on my channel before. If you have, it's been a really long time, so welcome.
He's commonly on your channel, isn't he, Curtis?
No, I
I've
think he's
seen
been there
I've seen him
once.
around the webs. I've seen him over on the Midnight's Edge and some of the other chats.
Got you.
Eldridge,
Yeah, it's been a minute, he said. Yeah.
yeah. Eldridge, I just subbed to your channel. I'd appreciate a sub back.
If you aren't already, you may already be. See, I don't know about you guys, but I subscribe to a lot of channels, and there's just not enough hours in the day to watch all the content. You know,
Exactly. That's the
so
problem I have anymore. There's so much I would want if I had all the time in the world. There's 100 people I want to watch their stuff. And,
yep.
do you guys know who Ren Gill is?
I don't think so.
He's a musician in Great Britain. He was starting to make it really big in his teen years, and then he got Lyme disease. And basically, he wasn't able to perform, and he lost his record label, and he was bedridden for about a decade. And then he made a comeback, and he's been doing really well on YouTube. He has a song called High Ren. He has a song called Sick Boy. He's got many, many, many great songs. But the reason I bring him up is he had purchased part of the music in Sick Boy was purchased through one of those online licensing things. And so he made Sick Boy with it. And then the licensee decided to strike his channel, and YouTube took Sick Boy down. Now, it had millions of views. And so he was trying to figure out, but unlike us, YouTube actually did kind of work with him a little bit. Right. And he learned that, that person you bought that license from decided to strike you. And he's like, what? I bought the license from you. So he emailed the licensee, and he shared that email with the community. And he was like, okay, look, I don't, maybe I did something wrong. I'm sorry. I'm willing to work out a deal. And he basically was like, I'll share X percentage of what I make on it. And they turned it down and tried to sue him. And that went down. It's a
bold strategy, Cotton. How did it work out for them?
It failed.
I would imagine it would. If you bring the receipts, it's like, well, what did I pay for exactly?
Yeah. But what ended up happening, I believe, was that licensee went bankrupt because all the creators that were buying licenses were like, well, if you're going to do that to him, you'll do that to us. So they
exactly
all
right.
Businesses dried up. And yes, John Ponderero and I did a 3-hour stream dedicated to Ren Gill, which I have sadly edited down quite a bit because of trying to get monetized here. But
right.
But I definitely suggest that you check out his music. What about the fair use?
There's one other piece of advice that I want to give everybody. If you are going to decide, if at any time you decide that you want to leave YouTube, and this is a pain in the ass, you should go through all of your videos. If they're not, I'm assuming right now, even if you plan to never leave YouTube, you should be backing your videos up to Rumble or, other platforms. So do that first. But if you decide tomorrow to leave YouTube, you go to your videos and you remove them permanently. Don't leave them up there because I've seen too many creators leave YouTube. Their videos are still up there generating revenue for YouTube and not for them because they've been demonetized. And that's just wrong.
Totally. And now Culture Casino sometimes says a few things that give me some vague hope. Uh, what do you think? Do you think there's any possibility of creators doing a class action thing against YouTube for these kinds of things?
Yes, I absolutely do. I think there is an
I
absolute case. Or I've mentioned this myself a couple of times, simply because it's not too dissimilar from the cases that we've talked about many times. Whether it was the folks at Happy Days suing about likeness rights on the toys and the lunch boxes, whether it was the folks from Gilligan's Island suing about their episodes being syndicated and rebroadcast, whether it's comic book writers being entitled to, if they created a character for you, a compensation when your character goes to the movies and so forth. The now the most recent one was the writers' strike, the actors' strike, and so forth over streaming rights. It's the same thing, whether it's commercial television, whether it's cable television, whether it's streaming online. If you are showing that content and making money off of it, the people that worked on it deserve to be compensated. And it's gonna have to eventually be the same thing for people creating content for YouTube. If you're making money off other people's work, you need to pay for them. It needs to be transparent what your rules are. And when the rules are broken, you need to be transparent about exactly how and when. Because if you're not transparent, then we have no way of knowing that you're being fair. I know YouTube is not being fair. I can't prove it, though. And I should be able to sue for the right to be able to show that. And that's something that would end up coming up in discovery. Because I can point, like I said, you don't even know why your channel isn't being monetized. And yet, really YouTube is making money off of your videos. You are entitled to that money. You should be under the law. And if they say, well, it doesn't meet our criteria for what's allowed on YouTube, then why is the video up on YouTube making you money?
Yeah, exactly.
You should take it down. And then I should be able to say, and why was this video taken down? And you should give me an exact reason down to the timestamp.
Exactly.
You said this, and that's not allowed. Because then I can go and find another YouTube channel that said it and say, why is this channel allowed and I'm not? That's not fair.
But that's why they do it this way. And I've had this happen with similar things happen with other big corporations. The transparency only works one way. It's rules for me, but for thee, but not for me.
Right. And, and the fact is, that's why I think there's definitely a lawsuit there, because I think it's illegal. I'm sure under comparable employment laws and contracting laws, this is illegal. It just needs to be tested in court. How does that happen? No one of us is rich enough to do this. No. It would have to be a class action suit. But I am not the person who even knows how to bring a class action suit. Yeah,
exactly. No, same here.
We might want to, even though our lawyer is more personal injury, he might know something about class action lawsuits or who to recommend.
Actually, I've half thought about reaching out to David Freiheit and Robert Barnes. They, of course, have a vested interest in Rumble. No. Is it Rumble? Yeah, Rumble, because Rumble is tied to locals. But they do stream on YouTube, and I'm wondering if, well, it's also not their area of law, but maybe they could give us advice on how to do something about that, maybe. But yes, I do think that eventually that's got to happen. It's got to happen. And honestly, I think we're in a community that would be great for addressing it. If if there was to be some sort of momentum along those lines, some sort of class action lawsuit, I think people like Andre and Tom over at Midnight's Edge, Culture Casino, WDW Pro, that Park Place, and all the people affiliated with them could get the word out and become part of it.
Now I have visions of Aaron Brockovich going up there. YouTube is destroying these poor creators.
Well, yeah, there's that.
I'm being silly. Don't mind me.
I'm thinking more network. We're mad as hell and we're not going to take it anymore.
Yes, which I did a watch party of here a while back, and it was great.
Yeah.
I'd never seen it before.
Really? Okay.
I'd never seen it before. It was so good. I wish I had seen. Well, I was like maybe 5 or 6 when it came out. And I knew the meme or whatever it would have been called back then, but I had no idea what that was from.
Oh, yeah.
And John Ponterero was like, hey, you need to do that. And I've finally gotten a Patreon thing up, and John and Connie Cleary and have joined as paid members. And forgive me, I'll probably forget some people, but Charlotte's an unpaid member, and just several people have joined as free members. So I wanted to give them some kind of value, so I did a watch party of network for the member stream. So
cool. Lord Hester, I am serious. I am just not well enough versed to know if we have a case and how to go about it. If you know somebody who could answer those questions initially and tell us how to go about it from there, yeah, go for it. I mean, it's just, my gosh, something's got to happen. But yeah, you're in a rough situation there, my friend, and I don't know how to help you. I think you're doing the right thing. I think you have to, go and make a good faith effort on, addressing what you think might be a problem. Obviously, anything that you're editing off of YouTube is going to still be on Rumble, right?
Well, not everything, because there's some things, like some of my older content that I didn't think was real great anyway, I just got rid of. But that makes sense. I'm trying to save the quote unquote better stuff. And some of it, like I've got the one about Peanut the squirrel. I'm trying to edit that one partly just to make it better, but I'm going to put that one on Rumble and delete it from YouTube, because I guarantee that they don't like what I said there about Peanut, and that was terrible. And I meant everything that I said, but and the funny thing is, you and I both know that I was trying to stand up for the rights of the helpless. And their thought is, well, you're threatening. I'll give you a great example. The very first time I ever got a strike for being threatening, I'd made a YouTube short, and I was talking about a local legislator, like a Oklahoma state legislator. I was making fun of him, and I was talking about how he had these chubby cheeks, and since I got the strike, I won't say too much, but you know how your aunt used to like to just squeeze your cheeks?
I hate that, but yeah.
I made a joke about that, and they said I was threatening him. So I deleted that one a long time ago. But that's one of the reasons why I am so careful, because you can't evidently you can't joke hardly. You can't.
No. And this is why you will always and you know who actually does a great job of this and makes it sound humorous is WDW Pro. He'll say things like oh, that person just has such squeezable cheeks. Not that anyone here would suggest that anyone do such a thing. That would be inappropriate without consent. We're just saying they look so pinchable. That's what I could imagine he would say, which is of course funny. And you know, if they were to say it's a threat, you go, did you hear what I specifically said in there? I specifically said no one is suggesting that. You know, this is a joke. Clearly,
Yeah.
I'm actually saying that in the video.
I'm not sure I understand your question, John Potter. No, it wasn't Mark Wayne Mullen. No, it wasn't him, because he's actually on the federal level. But and I've got my issues with Mark Wayne, but I don't think he has very pinchable cheeks. So it
There
is
you
what it
go.
is. I mean, you know, if you like him, that's okay. I'm not here to, you know. Yeah, you know, I'm not in this stream. I'm not here to talk politics. I'm just, you know,
Right.
laying out that the I guess the best
We're just
thing
using politics as an illustration for what we're
Exactly.
talking about.
Exactly. I guess what I'm trying to say is, you know, we all need to be careful, but yet at the same time we can't just. Mr. Londell's Groovy Movies taught me this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you just slavishly what is the term I'm wanting to say concur, but it's not. If you just comply slavishly, then what's the point in even being on here?
Right.
You know, at the same time, I'm not going to, you know, just taunt them or anything, but anyway, there it is. So don't have blatantly pro Orange Man channels. Don't do that. You can be pro anybody, but you can't be pro Orange Man and be blatant about it.
You also can't be pro Rocket Man either.
Yeah, and you know, if you've wondered why I'm not streaming as much lately, it's mainly I just don't feel like adding to their, you know, their collection or whatever you want to call it, until I kind of know whether or not they're going to work with me or not. And if not, like I say, I won't go away from YouTube. Not so much because of them, but because of the community and all that. But my strategy right now is I'm going to spend most of the time between now and the 10th in editing instead of streaming, though I will probably do a few streams. Hunter Biden is going to be my hero going forward. I'm going to start preaching that everyone should get every vaccination, no matter what it is. And no, I'm kidding about the last part. But essentially, I'm going to be doing kind of minimal streaming. I will still do, because I'd made the plan to do this anyway. I'm going to keep doing my Sunday Voice of Northern Oklahoma streams, because I'm trying to get more practical, more useful to the real local community.
Yeah.
And probably if they don't monetize me next month, I had been thinking about just having that be the name of my next channel, but I like what you had too, as far as just call it Tired Midnight Blogger and don't even put my name up again. But and obviously I'm open to any suggestions. if anybody does know a phone number to call or someone to text, or where a local YouTube authority lives, so that I can accost them unviolently, because no one would ever suggest being violent.
So you're saying you want to stage a mostly peaceful protest?
Yes, I do. Hopefully the guy drives
because we can all get behind that, right?
Yeah, well, if the guy drives a TESLA, I'll be happy to key it, and I'll join the cause.
Exactly.
I mean, we have not begun to pander.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah. So there we go. So I think you've got your work cut out for you, and I'm sorry you've had to go through all of that. But
life has thrown me a lot, and I'm sure it has thrown probably everyone in this community has gone through like real bad things. The way I look at this, it's frustrating, it's irritating, but I probably about 20% expected it. I'm not going to say it did surprise me a little, but it didn't, it wasn't exactly a shock or anything. I made the choice to, go down the road that I went, and if that was wrong, then I take responsibility for that. But I don't believe that it was, and the reason is because there are a lot of people who listened, and it grew a lot more quickly than basically, like, the numbers just crept up until I started to take a stand for what I believed in, and that's when it actually. I don't want to exaggerate it, but that's when the growth accelerated. So, you can call it pandering if you want, but I'm just trying to share what I really am, and there it is. You can like it or not, take it, leave it.
Yeah.
And there it is.
Like I said, pandering is when you are not being authentic. If you're being authentic, you can't possibly be pandering.
Yeah. So when you are trying to become monetized, there are certain hoops you have to jump through.
Yes.
You have to have a minimum of 500 subs. I waited till I had 1,000, which was the original amount. You have to have a minimum of 1,000 watch hours.
Yes.
And you have to have uploaded at least 3 videos. If you do live streams like this, that counts as a video.
Yes.
Once you have met that criteria, you will see on your YouTube studio, there's I think it's on the upper right. It'll say something like, like you can become monetized or something like that. So then you click on that, and then it tells you the criteria that it needs now for you to move forward to actually get that monetization. I think the first part was telling them, like who you are, confirming your identity, because they want to know who they're paying. The second part was AdSense, which for me was a nightmare because I already had an AdSense account, and it was a nightmare to try and close the original one because they wouldn't let me use the same one and create a brand new one.
For me, it was a little bit more straightforward, but I was a little surprised that a lot of it, or at least some elements of it, couldn't be done online. You actually had to wait for a physical snail mail.
Yeah, that was the thing I forgot about. I was thinking about it, and then I forgot. Part of the third part is they will send you a PIN number through the mail, so through snail mail. And once you get this, you have to go on and you have to put this PIN in. They will also do
It's partly because, it's specifically because they want proof that you're a real person.
Yeah.
A live, living person, so that there's no fraud. Imagine that.
Yeah. They will also send 2 small monetary amounts to your bank account to make sure that everything is working properly. So I think I'd gotten like 23 cents and 64 cents. And they asked you to put in the amount that you had gotten to also prove your bank account is working fine and you're a real person. After that part, I was golden. I was monetized. So then I was able to go and create my emojis and set up members and all that sort of thing. Once I get to the point where I can get the ad revenue like Troy, I'm sure there's something else I've got to do, but I don't know what that is because I haven't gotten to that point yet. I still need to get, I think it's 4,000 watch hours.
Yeah.
And I'm short like 450 something.
Yeah, we'll get you there.
Yeah, eventually I'll get there. So that's kind of like the process in a nutshell. If at any point you are having difficulty, try to, one thing is, like I said, that I made sure of is every single one of my videos said they were not child friendly.
Yeah.
So right there, that eliminated any risk of them saying, well, you said this video is for kids, but someone dropped the F-bomb. You know, I don't want any of that. So I made sure all mine were were not kid friendly. They're all for adults. You've heard my videos. I mean, you guys have been in my live streams. There's very little swearing that goes on my channel. And my big thing is, I always tell people, I got one rule. You don't take the Lord's name in vain on my channel. I understand people swear. It's part of their normal vernacular. That's fine. I'm not going to tell you can't swear.
Although
but
if
you
YouTube
don't take the Lord's
finds
name
out you're religious, they might have a problem with that too.
Yeah. But you don't take the Lord's name in vain on my channel. That's my one rule. And I tell it to every single guest. I don't care if you're a nun. I'm going to still tell you that. Because I feel that strongly about it. I'm a Christian. You don't disrespect my God. You know, and I understand people have
on your channel.
Yeah. People have different religions. They have different beliefs. On my channel, I'm a Christian. I believe in God, and you don't disrespect my God. I would never disrespect your entity, whatever you call the entity that you believe in and you pray to or whatever. Don't disrespect mine. You know, my house, my rules.
May I get political for like maybe 20 seconds?
Sure.
Okay.
Depending on how political we're getting here.
Okay. Bernie Sanders.
Uh-huh.
I actually used to have some respect for him, but I have completely lost all respect for him.
Yeah, a lot of people that used to be supporters of his are saying that now too.
And I'm just going to cut right to the chase so that it isn't very much. But when he had the singer at his rally that was singing about God must have a big thing, because he is screwing me. I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah,
I am done with Bernie Sanders.
Yeah,
you cannot tell me that he doesn't know and approve what that singer is singing.
So I was watching a video yesterday that was I was actually surprised. It was a very recent video. Somebody talking about the recent adaptations of Superman and how people don't get Superman. I mean, there's plenty of these videos out there, right? People pointing out what an aspirational hero Superman is, that they're so focused on the super, they're not focused on the man.
Yes.
And Clark is the hero, you know, with or without powers.
Yes.
And he was pointing out that Homelander and I forget the character who has all Superman's powers, and he's got a mustache and a white outfit and a red cape. I don't remember who the character is. And he said, and even this guy, and he shows the Zack Snyder Superman, these are not Superman, you know? And then he proceeds to spend the whole video talking about who Superman is.
That's cool.
The other thing he pointed out was that he said that he didn't really like the recent trend of making Jesus making Superman a Jesus allegory so blatantly.
Yeah.
Superman would not be about that. His humility would not allow it in a very, Christ-like kind of way.
Exactly.
Right? But the difference is Christ was Christ, and
yes,
and Superman absolutely is not. At least Jesus never lied about that. Yes, I am the I am the Messiah.
he he did.
But the point I was getting at with that was that a discussion started up in the comments section, and someone was trying to make a defense for the relatability of how did he put it? The Zack Snyder Superman is a little bit sadder. He's got so much weight on his shoulders, blah blah blah, and this and that. And I said, then you absolutely don't understand Superman at all, because if he's sad because of the way the world is, he's not Superman. And then I dropped in the quote where what I said is, he's an aspirational hero. He looks at the world not as it is, but how it could be, and he believes with every fiber of his being that he can help make it that, and he inspires other people to make it that. And then I dropped the quote, the conversation from Superman where Lois is interviewing him, and he says, I stand for truth, justice, and the American way. And she laughs and she says, then you're going to be pitting yourself against every elected official in the country. And he says, surely you don't mean that, Lois. And he's 100% genuine.
I'd forgotten that. Yeah.
He doesn't believe that, and you shouldn't either. And if you do, then what are you doing about it?
Well,
because guess what? We live in a representative republic. Where the electors are, where the elected officials are decided by a democratic process. If you're not a part of that process, then it's your fault. At the very least, you need to go vote. But what you should be doing is volunteering as a poll watcher. You should be out canvassing for your the person you're planning to vote for, and trying to convince people why. Get involved. And you know what? If nobody's running for an office, a local office that you think, needs to be taken care of, then run for office. Get involved. Be the hero, And that's the kind of thing that Superman stands for. I said, so if you can't relate to Clark Kent, then maybe the problem's you and not him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Retro Blasting had a fascinating video sometime back. And I love Retro Blasting, but I rarely listen to his stuff. And I don't mean this to sound insulting, but I rarely watch it and feel like deeply moved. Mm-hmm. But he made a video about the recent trailers and the ones with Astro the dog. And look, I'm just going to give full disclosure here. When I first saw it, I was one of those people who was like, oh my, Astro, because I can be a jerk sometimes. Okay, I'm gonna.
Oh, you mean Crypto?
Yeah, crypto. I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
Wait, where's Astro from? Astro's from
the
Jetsons. Right. Okay, yeah.
Yes, I will revoke my geek card now.
No. You establish your geek cred when you start confusing multiple franchises, because there's so many that you're involved in. That's fair.
But I actually was kind of annoyed when I first saw that, and I was like, "Oh man, it's going to be this weird kiddie thing," and I'm just like, and I'm like old and this and that, and you guys are better than me in this case because I think you and Aged Boomer both were excited, or maybe one of you was, and I was not. And then I watched Retro Blasting's video, and he was like, "You have to remember." I'm not going to be able to put it as well as he did, but the target audience for these stories and these characters are basically children.
They're supposed to be, yes.
12. Yeah. And so if you like these things, you have to look at them through the prism of being childlike.
Yeah.
Whereas if you are scorning it, you're just being childish. And I was like, oh my God.
That's a good point.
It's absolutely right. I was being childish by looking at it that way.
And look, I would encourage anyone who, takes umbrage with Crypto, if he's depicted well in a movie or cartoon or whatever, really look at the history of that character. Because he has a wonderful history, used so beautifully. I mean, as much as it's not a child-friendly story, in my opinion, Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow by Alan Moore is a great example and a great use of Crypto as well. But man, just even when Kara died in the Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Oh yeah.
And that panel in Action Comics, I think it was Action Comics. I don't think it was Superman. I think it was Action Comics, where Superman goes back to the Fortress of Solitude and closes down the Supergirl wing of the Fortress of Solitude. Then he sits down and cries, and Crypto comes over by him. Yeah. It's just, Crypto is a good boy. That's all I'm gonna say. And if you're a dog person, you understand what I'm saying. And if you're not a dog person, the hell's wrong with you?
I didn't know I was a dog person, but anyway, I am.
Yeah, see?
There it is.
But, and I've heard people too say, well, this is an alien dog. Are you going to tell me they have animals exactly like Earth with their dogs? Well, they've got people almost exactly like humans in the Kryptonians. Yes, why not? Makes perfect sense.
It's a fantasy sort of thing. It's it's not supposed to be totally. I mean, obviously, if it's so far divorced from reality, But
if you want, you can always say. I am not opposed to. There was a story element that I thought that the Snyderverse was going to go for, and they never did. That's probably the biggest problem. Is there's grand world building to do, and it's like you have so many ideas, and he did none of them. I thought that there was going to be some retroactive history, history of the DC universe, right, where humans on Earth were in some, eons ago related to Kryptonians, right? And more recently, the what do you call it? The like the Greek gods and some of the other gods were Kryptonians. And
I see.
And literally their offspring being like the Atlanteans and the Amazons of Themyscira would be like descendants of Kryptonians. Now they wouldn't be Kryptonians in the truest sense, like allergic to kryptonite and all that kind of stuff, because they've been removed from Krypton for thousands of years, right? Maybe millions of years, if we're assuming that Atlantis went under the oceans, prior to, recorded history or whatever. But that would have been a very interesting concept. And something that I've always felt the comics needed to start doing, as they post-crisis tried weaving all their stories together more and more. But anyway, oh my gosh, I've just realized how late we've gotten, and I'm wondering if Deleted Scenes has already started his stream. So
he may have. And I apologize if I let us get too long too, but I had a great time. I appreciate you guys. I love this community.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I hope
absolutely.
that everybody got some insights into the whole YouTube thing. I think the other thing that I wanted to send everyone away with, I mean, especially you, Curtis, but really anybody. We are not the most experienced with all of this stuff, but if there's any way we can help you, offer you some advice, point you in the right direction, feel free to shoot us a question. We'll do what we can.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
And I had given kind of a quick breakdown of begin and how to get monetized. But anyone that's going through it, if you get stuck, feel free to ask us, because we've been through it. We could probably go, oh, did you do this part? Or did you get this yet? Or, like the pin. Did you get the pin through the mail and all this? So, we're really happy to help. And I want to thank y'all for joining.
Real quick, right after this stream, if he hasn't already started, we'll get you over to Deleted Scenes for coming attractions.
Yeah, just stay right here. You'll be redirected automatically.
That's tonight. Of course, tomorrow night, as I mentioned earlier in the stream, over on my channel, Boomer and I will be talking about the history of Doctor Who, specifically the first 3 Doctors. Our memories, give you a little primer if you're not a huge Doctor Who fan, maybe kind of share with you why we became Doctor Who fans, because sadly, if you watched Doctor Who in the past about 5 to almost 10 years, you might not even understand the draw of Doctor Who. So that is Friday night. I'm guessing that Deleted and Big Al Presents are doing a movie night earlier tomorrow, but you'll find that out over on Coming Attractions over on Deleted Scenes channel. Saturday, Netter, what's the movie for Saturday night?
Fist of Fury.
Fist of Fury with Bruce Lee. Yeah. Good old-fashioned karate movie. It ought to be a lot of fun. And then, all the things that Deleted Scenes is going to tell you about. But 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern on Sunday over on Age of Boomers channel, Geeky Geezers, where we bring you all the geek news that we found interesting for the week. We'll definitely be talking about Disney.
Probably these guys are easily amused. Probably
a lot about Snow Off-White and Rachel Zegler. We're going to talk about some pending reboots, including Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Ooh.
Some cancellations going on over at CBS, and the future of the MCU, among many, many, many other bits of news. So tune in on Sunday for Geeky Geezers.
Monday
night at the movies, I have fallen short. I did not get the members poll up for what the movie would be. So I am going to go back to the previous poll.
Animal House.
Was Animal House the next one?
Yeah, it was 300 Animal House.
Okay.
And we did 300.
So yeah, let's just go ahead with Animal House, and then we'll reset from there. So that was the one you guys had chosen a couple weeks ago as the runner-up to the 300. And there we go. That's that's the extended weekend. That's all I got.
Anything else you want to add, Curtis?
Just if you're at all interested in local Oklahoma news, if you're not, maybe even come by at the end of the video, because I tend to get bored with Oklahoma news, to be blunt, and get into more national topics in the last 20 minutes. I try to keep it to an hour, but Sundays, roughly around 2-ish. And I need to get better at making set times, but
Yeah.
probably about 2 o'clock Sunday, I will be doing the voice of Northern Oklahoma. So,
Nice.
Nice.
and then who knows what random stuff I'll do, but I'm really not going to, other than the voice of Northern Oklahoma, I don't intend to do a great deal of streaming until the 10th. So
Fair.
Okay. And of course, y'all know what I always say.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk amongst ourselves, and that's all well good and fun. But it's so much more fun when you guys are joining us in the chat and you're dropping the comments, questions, trivia, being goofy. Sorry, another video started playing in my ear and it threw me off. Well, it's like I have earbuds, and if I hit it, for whatever reason, if I've got a tab open with some other video open, it'll start playing. It's weird. Anyway, I really do appreciate all of y'all being here. I appreciate that you join us. Like I said, like we're all hanging out in our family room. We're popping the popcorn, passing the popcorn, and having a really great time. And you guys, you're our family. We love you and we appreciate you so very much. And if you're not here, we miss you. So if you can, if there's a stream that you can't make, and like you can't stay for the whole thing, just pop in and say, hi. Just so we know you're okay. You don't have to stick around, but this way at least we know you're okay. I also want to thank y'all for the many, many ways that you support our channels. You guys are so AWESMOE. In the super chats, super stickers, comments, thumbs up, sharing out the stream, whatever it is. Thank you guys so much for all that. You are really amazing and AWESMOE, and we appreciate you so much more than our words could ever say. And I'm glad that you're liking our content and you keep coming back. And if you have suggestions for other content that you'd like to see, let us know. We're always open. You can DM me and Troy on Twitter, and probably Curtis as well. And if you are looking to be a guest on Thursday Things, drop me a DM on Twitter. Let's see when we can get you in. If you happen to be a subject matter expert or you are really passionate about something, let me know. Let's see if we can get you in so you can let everyone know about this thing that you're really excited about.
Mm-hmm.
But until then, like I said, stay right here. You will be redirected to Deleted's channel. Right now, we are going to get to watch my pretty closing credits. Good night, everyone, and God bless.